Hello everyone. In this session, we will discuss the polymorphism topic. First of all, we need to know what is the poly and what is the morphism. So here poly means many and morph means your forms. By using the polymorphism here, we can work the many forms. So here this polymorphism is the one type of objective-oriented programming concept. So it can be used to design and implement our systems. So once you designed or else here once you implemented here, that can be extensible to our process. Like here it is very easy to perform our programs. So here if you're working the polymorphism, this is very ability to take the more than one form. Like here you're working the more forms, many forms. If you're working here, you can work with the more than one form. That is possible by the our polymorphism. And here you can work this polymorphism in type of your static and the dynamic manner. We can work this one into the two ways. Okay, and here if you're working these a polymorphism, so the polymorphism can be having the one operation or else it will be having the some function, any one operation or else it will be having the some functions. So by that here you can work the our programmatic. Like here these functions or operations are taking the many forms to depend upon the like your objects. Why? Because here this is the our objective oriented programming. So in this we'll be having the some objects. Whatever you have the functions and the operations, those can be working with the our objects like with the form of many forms. And next here these can be used with the our functions, right? So what it will be taking here, how it will be performed, those functions can be worked in our polymorphism in several ways or else here in many ways through our objects only. For example, you can see here I am taking the sum is equals to the x plus y. For example, here I am choosing the sum is equals to the x plus y. So here you can take the sum value, means x and y variable values or the any type of values. Any type means here you can choose any data type values. It may be the int, float, double, lambdable, anything you can choose that is possible into this. So here by using the polymorphism, we can perform the several ways to our programmatic. It may be any type of data. So for example, you can see here I am taking the sum is equals to 2 plus 5. Okay, so these are the our integer numbers. Here I am choosing the x and y values or the integers, right? Or else here I am choosing the sum is equals to the 2.5 and 7.5. Here you can see these are the our floating point numbers, right? Here the sum is depends on the values whatever you're passing into this. Here the sum is performing like here or else here it can be depends on the what the user is passed the values into the our programmatic. Like here in the variables, if you're passing the integer, the sum will be the integer. If you're passing the floating point numbers with the fractional, so that is like your our sum value. So it is the sum value is depends on the what the user is passed the values. Same like that only here the sum is in this you can see here the sum is working like your integer in the float. So this is integer will be the one form and the float will be the another form. Like that only here the polymorphism can be worked with the many type of forms. Not only one thing, it can be works with the same by using the one operator only, one operation. Your sum is the one operation, right? By using the sum here we are working the several forms into the one programmatic. So here we have the two types of polymorphism. Let's see here what we have the types of polymorphism. Here we have the compile time polymorphism and a runtime polymorphism. Let's see first one, compile time polymorphism. Compile means here whenever you are doing the programs here, if you're getting the errors, whenever you're doing the compile time, so we are solving easily, right? So means here it can be shows where we got the error, and what is the process in which line, everything it can be shows, right? So here you can see the most appropriate member function is called by comparing the type. Type means your data type and the number of arguments. Okay, whatever you pass it, the number of arguments like your parameters. For example, you can see whatever you are passing the parameters, number of arguments means your parameters. Where we are passing these parameters in our functions, we are passing our parameters. Then here our compiler can be works at the compile time. So just you can see whenever you're compiling our programmatic here, it can be checks here, or else here it can be comparing the which type of data type you used and how many times of number of arguments you used. So but that is depends on the our functions. So that is like your our compile time polymorphism. For example, you can see here we have the so you can see here whenever you're doing the compile time polymorphism, so this is also known as your binding performance, also known as your binding, or else here we can call the static linking. We have the static and dynamic processes for the our polymorphism, right? So here this is the static manner, static linking, or else here we can call this is the static binding also, static binding also. Okay, so the compile time polymorphism is also called binding or else static linking or else your static binding process. In this here we can perform the compilation process like here by using the type and the number of arguments. For example, you can see here we have the one programmatic to define the our compile time polymorphism. Okay, first we have the class add. Normally you can write the iostream.h and whatever you have the con.io, everything you can write into this. Okay, after that here I'm writing the class add. Your add is the our class name. Now here we took the add, that is our class name. And next here we have the public, this is the access specifier. In that I'm choosing the void sum. Here this is the class name, right? You can write here public is the access specifier, or else here you can call the access control. Okay, so your void sum we have here, sum is the our function name, your void is the return type, sum is our function name, and you can see here we passed these some parameters or else your arguments, those your a and b. Here we have the arguments like your a and b. You can check here number of arguments here, how many we are passing, that is checks by this. Okay, here we took the sum is the function name, and after that here I am choosing the sum means here we need to be use the one operator, that is the addition operator. Here I'm taking the C out a plus b, C out a plus b. You can see here I am not giving any value, and also you can check here I'm not entering any values here, directly I am doing the process like here a plus b. Okay, and next here you can see here we have the process after that. So here this is the another function. So means here this is also same function. In one programmatic here with the same name we can use these several times, right? But we need to be passed the different parameters. Okay, here I am choosing the void sum. So this is also a function name. In this here I am passing the three variables like your a, b, c, and here I took the directly same process what we did in the int a and the int b. So a plus b plus c value. Okay, after that you can see the main function for this. Here I am choosing the add object. What is the add here? Add is the our class name. Here we took the object name is only object only. Okay, this is the object name. By the object name here, what we are performing here functions, object name with the dot operator we are using our function. What we took the function name here, sum. So first one, int a, int b we have. Here we are passing the values. Here what we are passing the values for? A is equals to 10, b is equals to the 20. And after that here you can go to the next line. Here you can see again we have the void sum for the three variables, right? Here I am passing the three variables values. Okay, once you did this one, you will be get the output like here. What we have here, 30, 10 plus 20, 30 and the 60. Like this here you will be get the our output. Okay, so just you can observe here we are doing the compile time process only. How means here we are checking which type of data type we are taking, and also here which type of function and which type of arguments we took. That is only we are checking into this. Okay. And next here we have the second one, that is the runtime polymorphism. In the runtime polymorphism, we can perform like here whatever you have the member functions that can be runs at the runtime only. It cannot be performs the compilation. So after the compilation process, you are doing a run process for the programmatic, right? So in that time here the runtime polymorphism can be works on the our programmatic whatever the user is written. And here we can use our member of the functions at the runtime process. Those can be using the means while you are executing the our programmatic here, the linking of the function with a class can be performed like here after the compilation process. Once you did the compilation process here, after that you are doing the run process. In the time here the member of the functions can be done the our programmatic, or else you're executing the program in the runtime polymorphism manner. So your the runtime polymorphism is also called like here state binding. We can also call here, we can also call the our runtime polymorphism also called state binding. State binding. And you can see here in the compile time polymorphism, just here we are working whatever you have the programmatic only, but in the runtime polymorphism we have the one most thing, that is like here if you need to be work with the runtime polymorphism, you have to be use the virtual functions. The runtime polymorphism can be implemented by, it is implemented by using the virtual functions. You can see already we discussed the virtual keyword, right? So you can check here virtual functions. And also here these can be used as the pointers to the objects, you can see here whatever you have the runtime polymorphism, this runtime polymorphism is also using the some objects, right? So those objects can be used by the our virtual functions and the pointers. The runtime polymorphism can be implemented by using the virtual functions and the pointers. Just you can see how it will be looks like in the programmatic here. Here we took the class base class. Here base class is the our class name. Okay, and here we took the one thing, that is a virtual keyword. You can see here we took the virtual, means before the function creation we are using the virtual keyword. In the compile time just we wrote the void sum like that, right? But in this here we are using the virtual. This is the our keyword, virtual keyword. And here we are writing the return type void, and the show is the our function name. In this here we are not passed any parameters, and you can see whatever you have the base class that can be displayed in the output section. And next here we have and next here we have a class derived class. Once you have the base class, means definitely that will be having the derived class, right? So here we have the derived class. The derived class can be derived by the our base class. Yes, you can see base class we have. And the derived class is also having the public method. In the public method directly we are taking the void show. You can see here in the next line also you can write. So in the next line you can write this one. Normally you can see in the previous base class we took the virtual, but here there is no here in the derived class. Just you can directly define the our function name with the region type. So your derived class can be displayed in the output, and after that you can see here we have the in the main. Okay, so here we are returning the our void. Here we are returning the our void function, void return type. And next here the base class will be having the our pointers. In the runtime polymorphism, what we are using virtual, and also we are using the pointers, right, to the objects. Whatever you are creating the objects, for that you need to be using pointers, right? So here I'm taking the base class. This base class is having the objects, right? The objects is defined by the our pointer. So here this is the our pointer symbol, pointer of objects, right? Here we created the our object with the form of pointer, and here this is the new base class means here. So if you need to be create the new object by using the new operator, new keyword, here we can use the our object creation, right? This is the new operator, and here we took the base class, right? And after that here you can see here whatever you have the object that can be shows the our method, whatever you give in the function, whatever you give in the function, that can be displayed in the output. Just it can be displays the our output whatever you have the information. What you have the information into this, just you can see it cannot displays the our base class. Just it can be displays the our output like your derived class only. What you will be get here, you will be get the derived class. Why? Because here it is taking the our virtual function. It is taking the just your virtual function. It is not taking anything. So means here whatever you have the information into the base class, that will not displayed at the runtime. So that is depends on the programmatic only. So here you took the base class with the our pointer of object in a derived class, that can be shows into this. Okay, so like this here we can perform the our polymorphism. uh, Thank you for the watching. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel.